Shannon O'Flaherty here. I'm pretty sure we're going live right now, and I'm reporting to you all from snowy Yorkshire in England. And it's very cold here, and I apologize for the surreal lighting, but this is as good as it gets from this quarantined place. And tonight I'm going to be talking to you all about the sacral chakra and emotions and physicality. And I've been working with the chakra system for over 20 years, and the mind beliefs associated with each of the chakras, and why it's so important to get your chakra system in balance along with all of the belief systems associated with it, so that we can work together. Our bodies and minds can work together in one well-oiled machine, because we don't want to be holding all of these dark pixelated parts of ourselves that are blocking our fundamental birth given light. We're born as light beings, and then we learn how to not shine our brightest light. And then we carry all of that stuff around with us for our whole lives, and it weighs us down. And there's really no need to do that. So this is why I'm talking to you all about the different chakras and how they affect us on a daily basis. And of course, the sacral chakra is our power center, and it governs so much about how we feel and experience the world around us. And it's all about our relationships. And it's mainly, of course, about the relationship we have with ourselves. So when I had an out of whack second chakra for much of my young adult life, probably much of my childhood too, I didn't have very good relationships with people. Emotionally, I was like this pendulum swinging back and forth. And then when I did heal my relationship with myself, of course, all of my relationships in life got better. So now I'm going to share this screen with you here. And so our second chakra, it's kind of at our power center. It's where we really stem from. It's right under our belly button, and it's often seen as orange. And so when you learn to love and nurture yourself, then of course, everybody else is going to feel more loved and nurtured with you along the way. Now, this sacral chakra is said to rule both the reproductive system and the control of water in our bodies. So not just the reproductive system for women, our womb, our ovaries, and uterus, but also for men, the testes and their reproductive system. And it's also associated with the lower third of the intestinal tract, which is why it has a lot to do with its involvement in assimilating things, how we perceive different situations, how we express ourselves in the world. It also affects your spleen and your liver and your bladder. So if you think about all of the physical problems that could be associated with each of these organs, this is all second chakra stuff. And if it's underactive, we might want to eat excessively, or we could have an increased sex drive. And of course, this imbalance could cause obesity and food intolerances, and also possibly chronic skin conditions. But we want to permanently heal our second chakra. And the way we do this is to go in underneath whatever the problem is. You look at the trigger, you feel what the problem is, you feel the emotions, and then you go digging. like playing detective for yourself, like a miner with a head torch. You're going to go digging in your second chakra to find out where those dark pixels come from in the first place. Why are they all growing there and building up and getting darker and darker and blocking out all of our beautiful light? We want to chip away at them so that we can unearth all of these pixels and infuse them with light so that they're finally gone. We want to get to the very root of the problem and heal it instead of just putting a temporary bandage over the top of it. So with an overactive sacral chakra imbalance, we could suffer from low vitality. We could have intestinal and gastric issues, maybe irritable bowel system, and perhaps chronic tiredness and lethargy. I mean, just think about if you've ever been in love or if you're having a relationship. This is why people, they get so excited and they're so in love, and then they can't eat and they can't digest food, or they have an upset stomach, or maybe you just completely lose your appetite altogether when you're in love, and also when things fall apart. I remember when my parents split up, my mother, she just could not keep any food down. She was really processing things and she got really, 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 really skinny. And my sister and I used to go and get McDonald's milkshakes all the time, and we were feeding her milkshakes because she became drastically thin in her processing of upset. So this is all sacral chakra stuff. Has anybody ever had that kind of experience? So if you can relate to that, type me in the comments below. Some people, of course, eat at their sadness. If they break up, they may go the other way and stuff their face and gain lots of weight. But anything to do with this kind of digesting information stuff has to do with the second chakra, which has to do with relationships. So sacral chakra issues at an extreme level could even cause impotency, or make us have an unusually high or an unusually low libido. We could also have an imbalance with our heating mechanism. In other words, freezing cold fingers and toes. And I'm not just talking about when you're in Yorkshire in the snow, but generally, even in the summertime, you could have chilblains, or you could have menstrual issues or menopausal problems, edema you could have, or swollen ankles. And this is just to name but a few of the possible symptoms that are associated when your second chakra is out of whack. I mean, the reason why menopause is so challenging is because our thermostat is like on this crazy roller coaster, and it's going all over the place, up and down without warning. And our libido, often that just goes right out the window. But that does not mean that the party is over. Because our second chakra element is water, its energy is characterized by flexibility and flow. And the function of the second chakra is pleasure. And it's associated with the realm of emotions. And it's the center of our feelings and sensations. And it's absolutely instrumental in us developing flexibility in our life. Think about how many people are so inflexible. And if you think about relationships, because this is also a relationship chakra, it's largely about our personal expansion and the formation of our identity through relating to others and the world around us. So when we're not in balance, we can develop dependency and codependency with other people, or even with other substances that immediately give us pleasure. So any of your addictions can definitely be associated with the second chakra. We may be ruled by our emotions, being overly emotional, or on the other extreme, we might feel out of touch with our emotions, or feel like we're numbed out and just have no kind of feelings. We could really overindulge in fantasies and sexual obsessions. This is why people get so addicted to porn. Or maybe we have the exact opposite, lack of any kind of sexual desire or satisfaction. It's really about being stuck in a particular frame of mind or a mood. And I think I've even done a live on this before, that the majority of my clients come to me and they say, I feel stuck. And they don't know how they feel stuck or why they feel stuck. And generally, we have all of these different slices of pies of our life: relationship, community, work, health, money. And if you're stuck in one slice of the pie, it affects all of the others, because everything in our lives is interwoven in with the others, just like all of our chakras work in unity with all of the rest of them, just like all of our belief systems do, all of the cells in our body. We all work together. So you really need to be in balance in every aspect. We could also develop muscle tension, of course, and abdominal cramps. We may feel a fear of happiness or pleasure, and we might be exceptionally wonderful at self-sabotage. We are very stealthy creatures when it comes to that. If we're not feeling worthy or deserving, we might just find a way to ruin every potential chance at happiness that we could have. Even when everything's going just great, we'll do something crazy so that it stops that flow. We may have a lack of creativity or authenticity, and we might even have urinary tract infections, bladder infections. We could have an irregular menstrual cycle. There could be all sorts of physical problems. Unfortunately, also family dynamics really often are the source of sacral chakra disturbances. And envy and jealousy, anger and rage are also all characteristics of this chakra. That's why relationships come into that. So if you're noticing that you are feeling any of these things, or that your partner may be feeling any of these things, it's a really clear signal to look at your second chakra. And also our lower backs, because this is all about flexibility. Unless you have a chronic lower back issue, which could also be a real sign that you have some out of whack second chakra stuff going on. But have you ever noticed sometimes that just kind of suddenly, for no particular reason, you haven't hurt yourself or anything, but your lower back really starts to ache? And it could be that you're feeling a lack of support, or some emotional something has happened, or maybe it's just if you're around your family, or a relationship is just broken up or whatever. So pay attention to the physical things going on in your body, because our physicality is directly related with our chakra system, and is directly related with our emotions too. Has anybody ever felt that sort of lower back thing? You're running for the heating pad all of the time. Yeah, if you've ever had a lower back issue, go ahead and write back down in the comments. Our backs, I think it's really high up there, isn't it, in reasons why people miss work because of back pain. It's a chronic kind of issue. And if you think about the second chakra being our power center, what really guides us in our identity and how we experience the world, it's no wonder that backache is so high up there on the spectrum, because a lot of people are not flowing through life. They're not flexible. They're really stuck in the ways that they think life is supposed to be. And I can certainly remember when I was like that too. One of the main healing challenges for the sacral chakra is about maintaining balance. So can you identify with fully recognizing and appreciating your experience So many years ago, when my second chakra was really out of whack, I had a tendency to over multitask. So I was really Wonder Woman all the time. I'm doing this. I've got the kid on one hip. I'm cooking dinner. I'm cleaning something, or I'd be at my desk working, and the kids would come and talk to me, and I'd be like, yep, right, mommy's with you, but I wouldn't really be present. I wasn't present at anything I did because I was so fragmented and scattered, right? So I wasn't allowing my best effort to come through with anything that I was doing. And my kid's dad, my husband at the time, used to really trigger me because he was mirroring that. It showed up for him differently, right? He'd be sitting with me, but he wasn't with me in his head. He was totally somewhere else in his mind. I could see him thinking, I could see the wheels in his brain turning, and it would really, really annoy me. And you know why it annoyed me? Because I wasn't present either. Now, if I had healed those dark pixels in my second chakra and allowed my light to shine fully, I might have noticed that he wasn't with me presently, but it wouldn't have triggered me and upset me so much, because when you're healed and your dark pixels are no longer blocking your light and no longer blocking your flow, you might notice things that are annoying in other people, but their things can more easily be left with them. So when our emotions are not fully expressed, or if they're not expressed clearly or directly, like passive aggressive kind of stuff, this changes our whole energy field. It affects our whole energy field. You know when you've walked into a room and two people have just been having an argument, you, even if you hadn't been there earlier or hadn't heard anything, you can cut that energy with a knife. You feel it all around you. And we feel this energy shift in people and in ourselves all the time. And we might not understand what's going on, but generally there's some second chakra stuff going on because there's a lack of flow in between two people. And we could also feel shame and guilt around having pleasure, not just sexual pleasure, but often that too, either from strict education or contradictory values, or maybe even a traumatic experience, right? Depending on what kind of culture you were raised in, what's seen as way out there or outlandish or poor behavior. And our second chakra energy can easily be shut down as a result of this kind of repressed energy. And whether that's influenced by the actions of someone else or whether that's self imposed. And so we really need to go on in there and discover what caused those dark pixels in the first place, so that we can finally heal that wounding and not carry around all of that unnecessary guilt and shame that doesn't serve any purpose whatsoever. I mean, guilt, it is just the biggest wasted emotion there is. So when we heal our second chakra, we are so much more mindful of our thoughts and our intentions, as well as being much more aware of the kind of emotions that are arising at specific moments and why. So if you'd like to, let's see, if you'd like to have that kind of clarity on a daily basis, I would really, really love to hear from you. Private message me and book a mind shift call with me. They're 20 minutes. It's a free call. You will definitely have some kind of perspective mind shift. And you know what? It could literally change your life. Why don't you set yourself up for the best possible year ahead and see where you're not in flow in your life and book a call with me. I love you all so much. It's been so much fun to share all of this cool information about the sacral chakra with you. And next video. Lots of love, and I'll see you in the next one.